It's literally radiating light, and there's no other material I know that's like that or behaves like that. I was learning the steps to make functional, symmetrical vessels, but I decided I wanted to make something for my brother. It was a gift for my brother, who's a roofer. I decided to make him a glass hammer, and no one had ever showed me the steps to make a glass hammer. I decided to kind of figure it out myself. And for me, this was a paradigm shift where I was deviating from following a set of steps and moving into kind of problem solving and engineering. Through that process, I really learned a lot about the material, and that really started me on my path as a glass sculptor, and that was about 24 years ago.
If I'm making production and it's like, I know exactly how to make this, and I've made it lots of times, it gets boring to just kind of repeat. But when you're making sculpture, you're kind of always learning and growing and doing new things.
The tools we use are standard to glass blowing. We have jacks that are used to make constrictions, shears like scissors, which cut glass in a straight line, straight shears, or diamond shears, which cut it to a singular point. Although my favorite sculpting tool is a simple butter knife that you could find in your kitchen. Formally, we're really inspired by architecture. We're always looking at buildings, Victorian architecture with all the decorative elements, as well as all the architectural details that go into steeples. And particularly with steeples, I've been using techniques that were traditionally used for Venetian goblet making fine, intricate, detailed parts using additive bits of glass. When we make our work, we work on the idea, we make sketches, and then we take it into the studio, we make parts, and then we assemble it. And it's not just me, and it's not just Julia, we also have a team helping us, and it's really important that our team is just as skilled as we are, because there's many hands that come together to create these pieces, and we couldn't do it without all of those talented hands.
I think it's hard to be satisfied as an artist. I enjoy the process so much. When I'm making it, I just feel so good. And then when it comes out of the kiln and I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's not as good as I thought it was. You're always more critical of your own work than other people's. And you know that, other people are probably not going to analyze it as much as you are, but you always are striving to make it better, and which is great because then you don't get bored. But at the same time, it's hard to be like satisfied and confident in your own work.
The worst thing that can happen in the glass making process, glass blowing or glass sculpting, is spending 6 hours on a piece and having it fall off the final connection at the last moment and smash on the floor, which has happened several times to us. If that happens, if the piece falls on the floor after 6 hours, it might be the worst thing for that piece, but it's not necessarily the worst thing for me as an artist. It just gives me a chance to make it again. One of the things about glass is that you really learn to not get attached to things, to be able to let go of things instantly, because it's the nature of the material, and that's what's something that's beautiful about it and really compelling about it, is that it might break at any moment. To me, art is much more than a superficial decoration. It's not a painting that ties the room together or looks good with the couch. It's an expression of the human spirit. It's the time and place we live in, reflected in someone's inspiration. And the beautiful thing about it is that individual's inspiration can then inspire others as they relate to it. And that's the power of art.